Hello, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Critchlow. I am the owner and director of A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. And today I want to do what's called a sponsor spotlight. So that is where I highlight all of my sponsors' businesses. These individuals have reached down deep with the kindness of their hearts, and they decided to So I wanted to show my appreciation by allowing them to talk about themselves and their business and to get their name out there. So I have with me today, her name is Liz Shepard, and she is the owner and CEO of Ride Kidault.
Kidault car.
Kidault car. Okay,
Yes.
Kidault car. Great, great. All right, so thank you for joining me. How are you today?
I am well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. All right, so let's jump right in. So tell us about your business.
All righty. Well, I am the owner of Kidault Car. We do business as Kidault, which is a car service for children. We have like three aspects of the business. We started out as just a car service for kids, just to take them back and forth to school, to activities, play dates, and so on. Then we added the newborn transportation. We pick up moms from the hospital with our car seats if they'd like. All our cars come with at least one convertible car seat, and either take them home, take them around town, take them wherever they need to be. And lastly, we recently added Medicaid transportation. So, if you qualify for Medicaid, you could look into us being your driver. We also are involved with FSA/HSA. So again, if you have those, please speak to your coordinators and they will let you know if our rides qualify for use of FSA or HSA.
Okay, wonderful. So what made you start this business?
I started this business because a partner of mine, it was hard to find safe transportation or transportation at all to take our two kids to school when they had first started elementary school. So we looked around, there were no other services except one in California, and I decided to try to bring them here. That didn't work out because New York City, it's a beast when you try to navigate all the rules and regulations. So I decided to start one myself. So
all right, what was wrong with the good old school bus?
Yeah, my kids didn't get school buses. And I don't, it's not like the days when we were kids, when you would go to the corner or around the block for the school bus to take you to school. Unfortunately, if you didn't have, if you weren't disabled, or I believe they said like an IEP, they didn't offer it in our area. So.
Oh, and where are you located?
Well, I'm in Brooklyn now. I'm in Greenpoint now, but I used to live in Crown Heights. And that's in Crown Heights, they didn't offer it, especially, well, the school we weren't zoned technically for the school, but it wasn't that far, but yeah, they didn't offer it for us.
So. Oh, and what year was this?
This was in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are things now with transportation?
Well, I take them. Yeah, so I would take them. Their other parents. Had my brother take them. We had like a whole. We got lucky. We got a couple of people that were able on their on and off days to help us.
Okay. And what sets you apart from Uber or Lyft?
Couple things. Well, one, Uber and Lyft, even in their policies, they tell you they don't take children, they don't take people under 18. And all of the drama in the news with Uber and the background checks and drivers and so on. All of our drivers go through fingerprint enabled background checks. They have no criminal records, no sex offended records. They have pretty good driving histories. We don't allow no more than 2 moving violations in 3 years. I know it's New York, but we actually check. We have a system that checks it monthly for all our
All
drivers.
right,
So
so
we
go
also
ahead.
have live video stream during the ride. So, it sets your mind at ease. You can see what's going on in the car, and the driver, this is directly through the app. So the driver can't turn it off or anything like that. You just go in the app. Once the ride is on, press view live stream, and you can see and hear everything in the vehicle.
Okay. So you do have an app?
Yes, we do have an app. Yes, you can download our app on the iOS store or the iTunes store. You use it semi-similar to the Uber and Lyft. You download it, you put in your information, it saves your rides. You go and you get to choose. If you want a sedan, if you want an SUV, if you want a minivan, we even have way vehicles, which are wheelchair accessible vehicles. So you get to choose any of your vehicle. If you need a car seat, you get to choose what kind of car seat you need. If it's for an infant, we have the toddler. If we have the infant button to press, we have the toddler. We have it by weight, so it's pretty easy to figure out which one you need for you. And your cars, our SUVs and our minivans have more than 1, 2, sometimes 3, depending. And yeah, so it's pretty easy.
Okay. So you take children under 18. So what is the youngest age that you take?
The youngest age that we have taken is 5. So, and that's sans adults, without adults.
5 years old without an adult.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And again, you can see what's going on in the car. And it's also, if you use this frequently, you have the opportunity to have the same driver all the time, as long as, of course, the driver is available. So, you get that, your child, and you get that familiarity with the driver.
Oh, you can have the same driver. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
All right. So how does it work? Okay, I want to use your services. I have an 8-year-old, and I want to take my 8-year-old to and from school every day. What would I need to do?
Well, there's 2 things. Unlike Uber and Lyft, we actually have a phone number where you can call and speak to me, and we can set it up, or you just download the app, and literally on the app, you just write in the pickup, the drop-off address, the child's name, and then you order the ride, and then there's an option to set reoccurring rides. So you can set it whatever day you need and the length. So if you need it every Monday, every week for 10 weeks, you set it until you want it to expire, and that's how it works.
Okay. So there's, you're not the only kid-friendly transportation company out there. So you have some competition.
I do.
So what sets you apart from the competition?
Well, a couple things. One, I'm a woman, and we're just automatically better at everything. And 2, I believe the added features that I've put into the app, like the live video stream, that sets us apart from anybody else. And also, no one else has phone support. Again, you can call or text us pretty much anytime, and you'll get a response. Sometimes not right away. We're a small company, but we'll always get back to you. It's more personal and hands-on, unlike these other companies where it's just machine. Everything is just done through the app. Yes, we use the app to facilitate it, make it faster, but at the end of the day, you always get to speak to someone if need be.
Okay. And are you 24 hours? Do you have a certain what hours do you guys work?
Well, prior to Corona, we used to be 24 hours. Now we're not anymore. We pretty much we work, I would say, from about 6 a.m. to about 7 p.m. Those hours are flexible. If you do need an earlier ride or a later ride, of course, let us know, and we're sure we can find a driver for you. As things open back up more, and school opens back up in September, and drivers are back to driving their 24-hour schedules, then we'll look to open that up again.
Okay. So speaking of that, I'm sure that's one of the ways, well, it sounds like that's one of the ways the pandemic has affected your company is the shorter hours. So how else has the pandemic affected you guys?
Well, we completely, as of March last year, mid-March, we had no business. We went from, doing rides every day to not having any rides at all. Luckily, I was able to pivot, and during that time, we did nanny rides, which were amazing. A lot of parents still needed their nannies to come in, but were scared for them to get on the train or bus and take public transportation. So we had like a set weekly rate, unlike Uber and Lyft, who the rates can go up and down. As everybody sees, Uber right now and Lyft rates have skyrocketed. It was a flat rate for the week. We did that, and then a little later on, we had applied for medical transportation, and that finally came in last month. But yeah, the pandemic, it had a shift for a little bit, but we got through it. We can't wait for September though.
It's going to be crazy in September.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I guess the question on everyone's mind is what are your rates? How much do you cost?
Well, it just depends. We are based on time and distance. We are a bit more expensive than Uber and Lyft, unfortunately, because when you're dealing with children, you have to have more insurances and more background checks. When you're dealing with you and I, it's a little bit easier, because all of the what is the word I'm looking for? We take on all of the what's the word that I'm looking for? Sorry, I had a blank moment. All of the risks, excuse me, and responsibility of being a rider. But with children, there's a lot of extra things that we have to go through. Depending on time and distance, our weekly rates, there can go from anywhere from $50, anywhere from $25 per ride, all the way up to depending how far you live. So it depends. We do offer monthly and weekly discount rates, though. That's a little bit less if we know you're going to do monthly. But our minimum ride right now is $25.
Okay. And you're based out of New York. So how far do you go? What's your travel scope?
We'll pretty much go wherever the parents want us to go. We've had rides to the Hamptons, we have rides to Jersey sometimes. So we mostly operate in New York, but we can go to Jersey, we can go to Philadelphia, we can go, we have drivers that are willing to take those longer rides.
And so when we say New York, are we talking about all 5 boroughs of New York?
Yes, all 5 boroughs.
All right, all righty. And you go into Long Island as well?
Yes, we do. We actually just got a couple of drivers that are in the Nassau region.
Okay. All right, awesome. So you mentioned earlier about Medicaid transportation. Tell us more about that.
Oh, basically, I'm not sure if anybody knows, but if you are under Medicaid, they cover your transportation. They pay for your transportation to your doctor's appointments, to the hospital, anything that has to do with your medical needs. If let's say you have anything you need, a weekly appointment, or every week, they cover those rides. So we are an authorized Medicaid transportation company. So you can, call Medicaid or MAS, which is the system that they use, and you can request us to be your transportation provider, and we'll make sure you get to your appointments on time.
All right, that's awesome. And how's that going? Are you getting a lot of Medicaid
Yeah,
clients?
we do. We have pretty much everyone that we've picked up has requested us to be their provider because, again, the either the patient or the doctor can request us, but I used to also be a driver, and I used to work with transportation companies, and sometimes they take their time and they're not on time with Medicaid patients, so they were very happy that we were always on time.
Wow. Okay, that's a big deal.
It is.
They don't have to pay for it. Their insurance will pay for it. That's a big deal.
Exactly. Yes. And it also, it's, you think Medicaid and you think like older patients sometimes. There's also young patients like if your child needs to go to OCT, occupational speech therapy, and you're under that, they can and pay for that as well. So it's not only for the elderly. Anybody who's on Medicaid can ride for free.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. And where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your
The
what are
goal.
your business goals?
I am actually trying to get a contract with the Department of Education to be their transportation provider. School buses are great-ish, I want to say, but there's been a lot of, if you look, their drivers are not as scrutinized as we scrutinize their drivers. Like I was reading an article the other day, one of the drivers of a New York City bus had like 21 driver's licenses suspensions, and getting in on a school bus, sometimes the kids have to get up at 6 a.m., 5, 6 a.m. They're on the bus for 2, 3 hours, depending how far the school is. And with a lot of people choosing choice programs, getting their children out of the neighborhood to go to whatever school they desire, it's just, it's not that fair to children. I took the school bus as a kid, but it was less than 2 miles away. These days, I have kids that a school is in the Bronx and they live in Brooklyn or vice versa. So I'm actually trying to get a contract with the DOE to be able to help provide that service, and also wheelchair accessible vehicles. Like, remember, was it 2018 when we had that surprise snowstorm and kids were on the school bus for 5, 6 hours and couldn't get home because there was like a layer of ice? And the parents didn't know where their kids were because they had no GPS or anything on the bus. We may have gotten stuck too, but at least you would have had contact with the driver and you would have known and see what was going on in the car with your child. So those are just like some problems that I would like to alleviate. So that's one aspect I see myself in. Also, I'm trying to get into ACS because, as you know, there's a ton of foster kids and they shouldn't have to change schools in the middle of a school year because of whatever their situation is. Either, they're homeless or their parents had to move. I would like to be able to offer the service. Hey, even if you had to move to a shelter in Brooklyn and your school is in Queens, I would like to be able to be the provider to bring your kid from Brooklyn to school in Queens, and you shouldn't have to pay for it.
Mm. You have a lot of big goals there.
Yes, I do. But I think it can happen. And just waiting for the DOE to open up those contracts again. And I'm also going to schools individually to speak to them about just using me privately because schools are able to do that as well.
All right. All right. So what made you become an entrepreneur?
I always had it in me, but I just never I didn't know what I would do, and I knew it had to be something that I was passionate about. My stepfather had a business I used to help him with, so it's literally just in my bones. I could not even think about working in a corporate office again.
So what's wrong with the corporate office?
Nothing for some people, but for me, it's just rules. I make my own rules, I take my vacation when I want. I'm able, I'm just able to pivot the way I need to pivot when I need to. For some people, corporate is fine. For me, I don't like to be beholden to a desk. My desk can be anywhere.
You can take your business anywhere.
Correct.
And when did you become an entrepreneur?
The beginning of 2017. March 2017.
Oh.
Yep, I was laid off from my finance job in December of 2016, and I tell everybody that was the best thing to ever happen to me.
Tell us more about that, if you don't mind.
No problem. I was in finance for about 10 years. I was various roles, but I was a credit analyst. So I basically gave people in the business banking world loans, for commercial mortgages or C&I loans. And I did that for a lot of banks until I moved to the private factoring sector. And then we did cash advance. Then I did cash advance loans, which were much easier to do than commercial mortgage. And my company, they overextended and laid me off. And I was already in the process of thinking about starting a business and figuring it out, but that just gave me the extra push. I started driving for Uber and Lyft in 2017 to see the driver's side of, this business. And I also think that is also helping me be a better business owner, because I know firsthand what the drivers have to go through and know the how much work they do for the little bit of pay that Uber and Lyft and all of these companies are given. So that also helps me become a better owner.
Okay. Now, with a lot of these, speaking of Uber and Lyft, with a lot of those companies, they're independent contractors. So they can work for like 4 or 5 different car companies at the same time. So do you have that similar structure?
Yes, all of my drivers are independent contractors. They own their own vehicles and they can work for companies, but most of my drivers like schedules, more scheduled rides. So that's why they come to me, and I pay more.
Okay. So all of your rides are scheduled? Do you have like the sporadic ones?
We have 1 or 2, but again, we're not Uber and Lyft, so we ask for at least a 30-minute window to get to you, because we don't have as many drivers as Uber and Lyft. So, but you can, if you need me in 20 minutes and I can get somebody to you in 20 minutes, yes. But, if you need me in 5 minutes and I can't get someone to you in 5 minutes, I would suggest another option, which would be them, unfortunately.
All right. So you would prefer more like scheduled trips?
Yeah, if you have the idea, like with newborn transportation, you can't really schedule when you're gonna go, unless you're having a C-section. So, some of those are mostly same day, not really scheduled. They'll call me, hey, and I'm like, yeah, sure, if you can wait, which they usually can. So, but it's not really a preference. It's just because I don't have as much drivers because of our driver selection process. It's a little bit more thorough than these other companies. And we don't yet have as much business as Uber and Lyft to support those drivers anyway.
All right, tell us about your driver selection process.
All right, so a driver comes to us. Again, their fingerprints are run through a federal fingerprint background check. Again, they have no criminal record, no sex offender record. Their driving record is pretty good. We don't. If you have more than 2 moving violations in the past 3 years, we don't take you. We also train our drivers on how to use the convertible car seat and install it the correct way. So if you can't pass that test, again, we can't take you. And we keep monitoring our drivers as well. All of our drivers meet us in person. It's not through the app thing. They have to come, they have to learn how to do the car seat. We have to make sure their car is clean, and they do quarterly inspections on their vehicles. So, when you go, they have to go to the vehicle inspection place, put it on a, what do you call it, a lift, then they check their brakes and so on and so forth. So, and yeah, that's our selection process.
And how long does that normally take?
About a week or two, depending on the driver. The background checks come back fairly quickly, within 24 to 48 hours. And then we do the class with them, how to install the car seats. We give them the book and they go home, and then they let us know when they're ready to come back and demonstrate that they're able to put in the car seat correctly. And then if that is all said and done and everything comes back clear, they're off to their first ride.
All right, awesome. So I just want to go back to what you said about the app. You said the app is on the iOS and iTunes store?
iOS and Android, yes.
Oh, so it is available on Android?
Android, yes, under Kidault, Kidault. Search for that, and you can see us with the cute little, can't see my shirt. Hold on.
Ah, I see it.
Yes.
Car. All right, awesome. How did you come up with the name? That's an interesting name.
I just put kid and adult together. Put Kidault.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about kids that are a little bit older, trying to get their independence a little bit, and they don't want to have to they don't want kiddie things, so that's why I put it together.
Okay. All right. So all of your cars come with the car seat?
Yes, each one comes with a convertible car seat. Like I said, it goes from newborn to booster. SUVs and minivans come with 2+. So 2, sometimes 3. One even has 4, but that's on rare occasion. If you need 4 car seats, then you'll have to call me so I can make sure I give you that driver with 4 car seats.
All right, so you can choose the different size car.
Yep, right? You can choose between sedan, minivan, SUV, and wheelchair accessible vehicle. And then you can also choose the size of the car seat. So if they're an infant, we have infant from 5 to 10 pounds, and then it moves up by weight. So you'll know that you're getting in the correct car seat for your child.
All right, awesome. All right, so we are coming to the end of our little, I guess, our wonderful interview. I shouldn't say our little interview. So can you tell me, you chose to sponsor A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. Can you tell us what made you want to sponsor us?
Well, one, I think a lot of children need tutoring. I was one of those kids that needed tutoring. And I like that you guys are expansive in your tutoring zone. You don't only tutor just young children. You have the GED tutoring, you have the SAT. So it's a spectrum from elementary to college. So that's what I really liked.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right. Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Ride Kidault. That's RIDEKIDAULT. Ride Kidault. And our website, www.kidault.com.
What about your phone number, your email?
Yes. Email is info@kidault.com, and Kidault is spelled KIDAULT. Don't forget the A, people always do. And you can also call or text us 347-380-6266. Texting, you get a faster response sometimes, but we also answer the phone.
All right. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Shepherd. Thank you for your time and thank you for your sponsorship. And if all of the information will be provided to you in the description, and we hope that you take advantage of this service. It is a great service. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And I hope your business multiplies.
Thank you so much. And I hope yours does as well. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.